Naivasha and Kikuyu. George Maringa, KTN News.
Aside from education matters, Kenya and the European Union are locked in a bitter diplomatic dispute over claims made by the EU Chief Election Observer Mission that the Kenyan government frustrated their plans to present our report on the August 8th and October 26th polls in Nairobi. The report, which indicts President Kenyatta's government over claims of using state resources in campaigns, had to be released from Brussels in Belgium. But as our political affairs reporter Murimi Mwangi now tells us, the Kenyan embassy in Brussels has dismissed the report as premature and unprocedurally released.
43 days in office following his November 28th second and final oath of office, President Uhuru Kenyatta is facing a diplomatic storm against the European Union Election Observer Mission that monitored the August 8th general election and the October 26th repeat presidential poll, marred with violence in parts of opposition zones.
The Kenyan government is not prepared to receive us within the terms foreseen in the Memorandum of Understanding signed between the EU and Kenya, because that specifies that we will present our final report within 3 months of election day.
The European Union chief observer claiming that the Kenyan government frustrated her plans to travel to Kenya, where she intended to release a report on the 2017 polls, forcing her to release the report in a televised address from the European Union Parliament in Brussels.
This is one of the very few times that a presentation of an EU election observation mission final report takes place here in the European Parliament, instead of the country where we observed, Kenya.
But the Kenyan embassy in Brussels has come out guns blazing, accusing the EU team of releasing the report in a premature and unprocedural manner, insisting the EU mission had scheduled to visit Kenya between February and March, and that the EU election observer team was reportedly to meet Wednesday to exchange views on the final report and logistics of the visit, a meeting which the embassy now says has been rendered negatory by the release of the report in Brussels.
We were entirely prepared to travel to Nairobi this week to present the final report and recommendations to the government of Kenya, as well as to other important stakeholders. Of course, the most important being the people of Kenya.
In the 75 pages report, the EU observers reported misuse of state positions and resources by both camps, but more to Kenyatta's benefit during the campaigns.
Kenyans were seen to be paid to attend election rallies. State resources were abused by both sides, but the national incumbent benefited most.
But the Raila Odinga-led National Super Alliance did not escape an indictment. The EU mission criticizing the No Elections NASA campaign that saw poll officials attacked and electoral material damaged within opposition zones.
National Super Alliance, NASA, assaulted and intimidated polling staff, attacked IBC offices, and disrupted electoral preparations. This is illegal and anti-democratic.
But the Kenya-EU diplomatic standoff over the alleged frustration of their travel to Nairobi could further complicate the country's relation with key European governments, which alongside US Ambassador to Kenya Robert Godek have been on the forefront in advocating for national dialogue following the deeply polarizing electioneering season.
And the fact that the country is not in a worse situation is entirely attributable to the Kenyan people to repeat violent confrontations.
Godek has been meeting key Jubilee and opposition figureheads to push for dialogue and the EU